Brad, do you want to pray for us?
Bow with me in prayer, please. Dear Lord, we thank you for today, God. We thank you just for the sunshine, the air that you've given us to breathe, God, just all the provisions that you've allowed us to have, God. We pray for today, God. We pray for this meeting, that our eyes are fixed on you, and decisions are filtered through your lens, and God, that decisions are made to ultimately better the county and the citizens that live in it. God, we pray for our safety, the safety of our first responders, our military. God, I pray for just our hearts, that you can change them how you want them to be changed, and that we can continue to strive to be more like your son, Jesus. And we pray in his name, amen.
Amen. We'll go ahead and call Marshall County Fiscal Court to order April 1st, 2022. First on the agenda is Michael Oliver. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
I emailed a copy, or did everybody get a copy of the roads? I get a copy over there, so. Well, thank you, Judge and members of the court, for allowing me to come again this year to report the 2022-23 rural secondary road recommendations for Marshall County. This list that I had sent out, it is very much a preliminary at this point. The reason for that is I don't know if it's due to all the budget stuff in Frankfort or what, but we haven't officially gotten any hard numbers on what the funding is going to be this year. All they've told us is that it's going to be very close to last year. So what I did is I plugged in last year's number, which is 1.3095112. 1.3 million basically is what last year's was. That may move a little bit, it may go up a little bit, but they're telling me it's going to be close to the same. Last year we had in the undistributed balance in our account, we had 366,000. I haven't gotten any word from Frankfort yet, so what I did is I just zeroed that number out to be on the conservative side. More than likely, there's going to be 100 or 200,000 in that account that we'll be able to go back and add some roads to. But I didn't want to come in and say we were going to pave all these roads if there wasn't any money in that account. So that being said, I used last year's allocation, zeroed out the undistributed balance, and that left a balance of improvements for $851,914. Again, the flex funds is always our first priority, and that's giving a portion of that back to the county. Last year, Marshall County was in actually a 20% bracket, but I asked for 25%, and that will be the same this year. If you happen to be in the 20% bracket, I'll ask for 25. And so the tentative flex fund is going to be around $327,378, and that's what it was last year. As far as spending the remainder of that money, we've gotten lots and lots of complaints about Scale Road. So the lower end, what we call the lower end, from US 68 to Lecky Road, it's 2.4 miles at a cost of $197,000. And then the other end that we're going to do is on the 641 end, starting at 641 and going to Ross Lane, which is 2.2 miles, for a total of $222,000. Just as a placeholder, I put asphalt patching until I figure out what the rest of the money is going to be, to know what I've got to add to that, to add some more roads. As far as roads that are on our radar that we know that are bad, that need some attention, depending on what the money is. I know there's a section of 282 from the state park to 1523. I know there's a section of 1477 that's really bad, a section of 1490. So a lot of that is just going to depend on Frankfort now. So I do know that we are going to program in those two sections of 795, and then we'll wait to see what Frankfort says about the funding. On the back, as I usually do, I've denoted where all of these roads are at. And you'll notice that there are several other roads on here that are not on the front sheet, because the front sheet is just for rural secondary roads. That's the classification that this money can go to. On the back includes all of the funding that we know that's going to be spent in Marshall County this year. So starting on the left, the top left, of course, you've got the two sections of 795. Then down, you've got Kentucky 1558 there in Benton. That road's going to be paved. Keep on going down, Kentucky 58 from the Graves County line to the intersection of Kentucky 402. That's going to be paved. 641 Spur, if you recall, we did half of it last year, and we're going to do the other half this year. That'll be paved. US 641 starting at the R-Cut there at Hardin, going up to the mile point 3, which is Union Hill Road. That's all going to get paved. And then we've got US 641 from basically the edge of town, 5th Street, I guess, the 5-star CVS. We're going to start right there, and then we're going to go all the way through Draffinville and stop at US 641 there where it ties into the 4-lane in Draffinville. So that's a pretty good section there that we're also going to do. So all those are going to be done with the rural secondary roads. Just to give you another update on some other things that we've got going on as far as the state, I'm sure those of you that are on Facebook have seen that, I guess, Frankfurt has made a big push about wanting people's input as far as where our potholes are at. And so for about 2 days, my phone did nothing but just ding, 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 because I'm on the district-wide email. So anytime anybody had a pothole in Graves County, McCracken County, I got them all. So when I filtered all of those to Marshall County, I know we've got some problem areas that we're going to take care of as soon as the asphalt plants and stuff get to where they can get us in. One of the main ones is US 68 West, starting at about Mike Miller Park. There's a ton of spots all the way to the McCracken County line that we need to have milled out and redone. The Kentucky 95 US 68 intersection where the school buses come out, that thing is washboarding terrible. That's going to be taken care of. Exit 25 on I-24, the on-ramp going eastbound there by Love's. Somebody had said that's all has a lot of potholes, so we're gonna take care of that ramp. And then just anything that we come across from now till then. We've got quite a bit of money set aside for that kind of stuff. Active construction projects. US 641 here at Benton, Court Square. The only thing that we'd like fixing that done, we've got striping we've got to do. There is a little bit of sod. We pretty much sodded everything, but there's still a little bit to do. There's probably about a week's worth of curb work, but they should be done, completely done, moved out by the end of April. So we're coming to there's a light at the end of the tunnel on that project, and hopefully it's not a freight train. Kentucky 1824, the bridge out there. Beams will be arriving Tuesday on that bridge, and the contractor, end of April is when that road will be back open. They are getting beams Tuesday. The US 62 project in Possum Trot area, safety enhancements. The contractor is telling me it's going to be mid-May before all of that work is done. And I know there's a rough spot out there right now that Roy and I were just talking about. He had gotten an email on it, and I have too. So as soon as I leave here, I'll talk to the contractor and see what we can do about that. US 641 in Hardin, the R-Cut, that job is complete except for the lighting. The contractor, not just that one, but all of our electrical contractors are having problems getting components in. I say it's like everything else. You can't really, right now it's hard to get anything to you. But they're having problems getting the junction box, so what we've done is we've told them to hot wire it, if you will, and just make it to where it's on 24/7. So within the next week, they're going to come out, they'll wire it up, but it'll be on 24/7. So instead of getting the calls, why isn't the lights on, I'll probably be getting calls, or why are these lights on? But it's better to have them on than not. We'll pay the bill. We'll take care of all that. So Van Zora, 2603, we've got a big pipe out there, a 96-inch pipe. The plan was to do that this week, but with all the rain, Monday, I don't know, it depends on Tater Day, but it'll either be Monday or Tuesday, we'll start digging that out. It'll probably be about 3 days before we get that back open. So we should be back open in Van Zora next week. We've also got on 962, which is Olive Hamlet, I believe. There is a aluminum box that I've got that'll be put in there. The feds had changed their standards on how they post ratings on culverts. Any culvert from now on that we put in that does not have more than a foot cover, they're going to automatically post it 3 tons. It doesn't matter if it's a brand new culvert. It doesn't matter if it's been there for 100 years. They're automatically going to post it 3 tons. So we've got one out there that is a fairly new culvert, but it's posted 3 tons, and so the school buses can't cross it. So I talked to Frankfurt, and they purchased a aluminum box. We'll get that put in. It'll be sometime this summer. But it does have a 3-ton post on it right now. So I know it's a lot of information. I saw some of the excerpts from the budget. Looks like there's a lot more money coming in Marshall County. That's a good thing, but right now we just don't know what we're going to be doing. So, any questions? Oh, I knew it. Go ahead.
All right, so 62.
Yeah.
The mid-May that you mentioned is only that section down by Marshall's, or are we talking the
All of it.
1523? Are we talking the intersection?
All of
Okay,
it.
when will that mess?
The intersection you talking about at 95?
95.
That'll be the last thing they do. That'll be the last. That'll be, and
What?
it's a good thing because the problem that all of our electrical contractors are having getting these components, they've got them on order, but I don't even think they've got them all yet.
Yeah.
And so that'll be the last thing they do. And plus, that's even another contractor. That's not Smith. So
Okay.
it'll be one of the last things that'll be done.
And again, that 6295 light will not be based on weight anymore. Am I right? So
That's correct.
all of us that come up from 95 that have to wait on people coming the other way
Yeah.
before it triggers.
It won't be on weight anymore. There won't be any loops. Pretty much from now forward, our direction is that we're not putting any more loops in. Anything is going to be infrared. It's going to be what they can call a wavetronics system, to where if somebody pulls up, if it's a motorcycle, if it's a bicycle, there's a beam, and if it hits that beam, it's going to call to that light that there's somebody there.
Yeah.
And so we won't have, because the problem is that if we put loops in, every time I mill an intersection, I cut the loops, and I have to put new loops in. And it's just, it's more expensive on the front end for this new system, but in the long run, it saves us a lot of money.
Okay. What about, okay, that project has started. Any news you want to share on any other projects on 62 or no?
What would you be referring to?
Further down? Or no?
I
Nothing
did-
approved.
Nothing approved.
Okay.
But we are in the design phase of
Okay.
starting at 95 and 62 and going all the way to McDonald's on 62.
One lane?
Well,
Added or-
there are several alternatives.
Okay.
There's one additional lane is one alternative. Another one is a double lane. One of them is a roundabout. People don't like to hear that, but there's 3 or 4 alternatives right now.
Okay.
So what we do is we tell the contractor, get us an estimate, and then I don't know if we'll send it to Frankfurt and say, which one do you, then they'll probably cut it down to maybe 1 or 2 or more alternatives.
Okay.
And then I don't know if we'll have a public meeting. I don't know what they'll do, but
Okay.
at some point, sometime, somebody will make the final decision. And then
So that will not be a 2022.
that would not be a this year project.
Yeah.
2023, depending on funding, I would say it sounds
Potential.
like right now it's got some movement.
Okay.
So I would say that 2023 is probable.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
Just won't brag on you and you.
Well,
Sorry I did that to you. Now,
well,
now
well, no,
you're going to
no,
be in
that's
trouble.
okay. The Fed, a lot of it depends on funding. Okay, so we have certain things at the state level that we are comfortable with. There are several and it's growing exponentially, roundabouts in the state of Kentucky. The feds love them. They love them because all over the United States, they're seeing them go in. They're seeing how people can use them. There's minimal wait. Your level of service goes way up. But we've kind of been a little antsy on going that way. But so if there's a lot of federal money, it could very well be that it could happen. It could also change to an R cut. It could change to 4 or 5 lane with a light. So we're still in that developmental stage where the contractor has been given 4 or 5 alternatives to study and to get us a price on what it would cost, and then we'll just go from there.
Michael, do you know, I know I'm talking about just projects in general. The last time speaking with Kyle, the actual project in Draftonville, all the way up to Johnny's Barbershop.
Right. I talked to our design folks because that was one of the limiting factors on why we didn't do a lot of paving on 68 last year. We were hoping that in the spring they were going to let that safety improvement project. The last word I got on that was that it was dependent on funding, and it was not one of those that really right now had a lot of push behind it. And so that tells me that even if it does get let or awarded, it'll be late 2022, could be not start till 2023, and we couldn't let the road go. So we're going to spend our money to fix US 68 West, but I would say that's a project that's probably talking about bidding it out late 22 and probably starting 2023.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anybody else?
If not, we need a motion to approve or accept. I don't think so. We just receive it.
And I mean, and like I said,
We'll end up signing the contract at some point, yeah.
and as soon as I get the hard numbers on the flex funds, especially because that's something that affects you all, and then once I figure out for my part how much money, and if we do additional road, which I assume we will, because last year we did 7.8 miles, and this year, as of right now, I've just got 4.7. So I'm expecting there to be about 3 more miles, but like I said, I didn't want to come promising something that I wasn't for sure that it was going to happen. So
You don't need an action item for us today.
no.
I'm gonna text you that picture on that county aid funding thing that she
Yeah.
showed, so that I can,
Yeah,
so maybe you can offline.
Yeah, I didn't get an email,
help
so
me
yeah, send it to
understand.
me, and then I'll get with her and find out what but it sounds like more of a discretionary funding or 80-20 money or something like that.
That's
has
what
to come from the
but
county.
we've applied for the 80-20
Yeah.
this year, right? I don't know, we were on a, anyway,
You send it to me, and I'll figure out what
you got it.
what you need to do.
Okay. Or maybe it was just, Bobby Joe hadn't updated it yet.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'll find
We'll go
out.
with that.
I will
All right.
find out.
All right. Appreciate it, Michael.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Michael.
No.
All right. Item B, Roger Ford. Good morning, sir.
How's everyone this morning?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's Friday. Yeah, I'm here. I submitted my budget to you guys yesterday afternoon. It should have come possibly by email, but by law, supposed to have a budget submitted by April the 1st. I'm assuming everybody received it. And I know that, I know this won't be the final budget, but
Right.
it's
Move we approve.
go by.
We don't
No?
just receive, yeah.
Move we receive.
Well, we don't. There's no,
How about that? Or just, how about I just move?
yeah, okay.
You want me to move then? Thank you, guys. Any questions?
We're not gonna get into them today, but there's
Right.
there's a lot of moving parts, so.
Sure. All right.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Roger.
it. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Roger.
Withdraw your motion. Withdraw it.
I withdraw the motion.
Sorry, I just
Are you still gonna move?
sitting on the table and I wanted to.
Yeah.
I know a good realtor.
Item
Second
C,
for that
Wade
in the back.
Boggs. Good morning.
How we doing today?
Good.
All right, I've just got a real brief proposal here. Red Cross approached us a couple weeks ago. They've got an opportunity, they're presenting to buy tornado sirens for impacted counties from this tornado, this December 10th tornado. They're saying about 2 each county roughly. We've put in a quote, but I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention that this is something that's been, it's been offered up. And I was gonna see if we want to do a resolution. We got one drafted up. That way we allow Red Cross to pursue this opportunity for us. They'll be doing a grant, but it doesn't cost the county anything. We won't have upfront costs. They pay for installation and everything. We will cover maintenance, which on these sirens will only be batteries every 6 years. So, we have any questions on that?
Absolutely not. I move it. Wait, you need a resolution?
I've got one
Got
drafted
the
up.
resolution?
Let me read this real quick. A resolution by the Morris County Fiscal Court authorizing emergency management to pursue acquisition of warning signs, whereas outdoor warning sirens provide an essential service to citizens by warning of potential looming dangers, whereas the Morris County Fiscal Court wishes to install as many outdoor warning sirens as may be deemed needed with available resources, whereas Morris County Emergency Management has advised there is an opportunity to pursue the acquisition of one or more outdoor warning sirens from Red Cross at a little or no cost to the Morris County Fiscal Court. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Morris County Fiscal Court that the Office of Emergency Management is hereby authorized to pursue this opportunity for acquisition of outdoor warning sirens from the Red Cross and to execute and document that may be necessary in the process.
Move we approve the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mud Bogs, I got 2 spots that you can put them in too. We need one at Van Zor and one at Pirates Cove, so.
Well, actually, Pirates Cove was the one that I picked out.
Good deal, good deal.
Then I've got one looking at places up on the north end of the county. And
Deal.
I've got some others we might try for. That's for a later date, though.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Item D, Jerry Day. Looks great. Good morning, sir.
I just wanted to take a quick minute to update you and thank you for letting us do your debris service. We're kind of winding down that. There's not much left. I think we've got most everything picked up on the streets, working with Roy. We're in the process of working with Tim at the refuge to make sure everything's good out there. We actually met with him this morning, and so we're working on getting all that out of there. So I just wanted to take a minute to say thanks for letting us be part of this. This community has been great for us, whether it be Tim or Roy, the commissioners, the judges. Of course, ER Assist has been great to work with. This is the first time I've actually been on the job with them. So anyway, and I want you to know that although we're leaving, we're a phone call away. We don't ever want to leave you if there's something that's left undone or something that we didn't do. We want to be along. We hope we never see you in this light again, only to come and visit. But I just wanted to thank you all for all of your help. The judge is great to work with, and Roy was so helpful to our people. And so anyway, I just wanted to thank you. Even Wade and the people out there at the landfill too were great. So thank you guys. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But most of all, if you're in need of something to finish, we'll be here hauling out for a couple more weeks. And then if you need anything, we're not going anywhere, but I just wanted to, at this time, take the time to thank you guys.
Yeah, Jerry,
Appreciate you.
appreciate the kind words. One thing that I think the court we do need to discuss is the C&D. Right now, it's coming in. I've talked to Tim out the refuse. We all know that there is an end date. We just have to establish an end date. Obviously, Jerry's got the contract to move the C and D out, but we still have debris that Roy's gone through all the roads as far as everybody getting debris to the roads. But at some point, we have to identify when is the end date for C and D, because you've got issues, obviously the contractor wanting to know what that end date is so that he can manage his personnel. We've got contractors who are bidding out projects that they know that when that date comes or when it changes, they have to bid the cost to the citizen. So it's a looming issue that really the court needs to make a decision as far as when do we want to set an end date so that the refuse and the contractor that we have contracting for us, they know when that, and the citizens, they know when that date ends. I know that that's a big discussion. Everybody's waiting to find out what that date is. We did give an original date for, I think it was March 14th or the 10th, to get debris to the right-of-way. But
Judge, I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know how the refuse operates post hurricane. I mean, I don't know if it's free to contract. I don't have any information on that. But at some point, it's very difficult, contract. Right now, I think there's people coming in there every day, and it's mainly contractors. And there could be some personal vehicles, but it's mainly contractors. So, I don't know if that's always a free service to contractors. I have no idea. But I would say that, at some point it's going to meld into a, you have to have a date. It might be a month, it might be, but you have to have a date because we have to stay there and clean that up, take care of it, and haul it out. And also it has to be obviously tornado damage for us to submit it for reimbursement. So I think FEMA and all of us at some point want a date. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but we do need a date. So.
any recommendations as far as the discussion?
You say you were leaving in a couple of weeks?
No, I would say that
Scaling down?
we will be here as long as you want us to be here. I would say there's like a couple weeks left of work that's there. If you tell us to stay for 6 months, we will stay. What I'm saying is we're a couple weeks from getting everything cleaned up and back to normal. If we stopped, there's probably, it's a trickle coming in.
Yeah.
But every day it comes in,
Yeah.
it creates work. So that's, yeah. I'm not saying we are leaving no matter what. We'll stay as long as you like us to.
Did Tim, in your discussions with him, did you all have a thought on a date? I've discussed it with him, but I don't know that we ever set a date. I just know he needs that.
Yeah,
We all
kind
know
of like
that.
what Jerry was saying, in the beginning, there was obviously
Right.
a lot coming in. There's very minimal coming in, but because of the known that is not decided yet, there's just a ton of questions as far as, can we still bring it? The contractors, obviously, before the disaster, they would bid something. And I even think in other communities, they have already stopped. Obviously, we're all different as far as our debris and the amount that we've got, but I think the last numbers from Debris Tech was like 509,000.
We've hauled, yeah, right at 500,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like, we did Caldwell County, for example, and we were a little over 200,000,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but we've long been done and long shut off that service. But
Yeah.
obviously, they had less damage than you guys did.
Right.
About half is what I'd say.
So if you say we have another couple of weeks, and then we gave that much notice, would May the 1st be a reasonable?
I think May the 1st would be reasonable. We'll be over 4 months.
Yeah.
And what we don't want to get into is obviously we're paying, looks great to
That-
haul this. If we get debris that's coming in that's, I don't think it is, but if we were to get debris coming in that's not from the affected area,
Right.
FEMA's not going to reimburse us.
And that gives, that, to me anyway, it gives a month's notice. It gives notice for those contractors who are bidding those now, that they'll know if I can't do this until after May the 1st, then I'm gonna need to.
The way that, just from a administrative standpoint, but make sure that, and it's up to you guys, but I think what you're saying is people can bring tornado debris to the site until May 1st.
Including contract, the thing is that after, on a normal basis, contractors cannot
Right.
bring, and so they,
I just wouldn't want the wording, I think we've pretty much shut down anything coming to the curb, and I think everything's picked up.
yeah.
Yes.
We don't want to people, if we give another date, we don't want people to go, oh, great, I can start piling
Yeah.
up my trash again for free pickup. So we want to make sure, when we communicate to the citizens, that we're talking about leaving the landfill open for free for tornado debris, not reopening a new curbside service.
Yeah.
Just want to be very clear that we don't do that.
Yeah, and I think that the decision is more so for you and the refuse.
Right.
You know,
I
Well,
think May 1st is reasonable.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we get to a point, I can work with Roy and if we get to a point where we're completely done, we can leave a couple trucks here and come back, and make sure it's cleaned up, and we can work on that. But yeah, May 1st is fine with us.
so is there a motion, and see, how do we word this to where we don't make it confusing? I call it C and D, but would it be, C and D is the construction and demolition.
Right. Construction and demolition.
So the deadline for C and D to be taken in at the refuse be May
Are
1st.
you wanting to limit, I guess, because there isn't any more vegetative, I mean, we don't, yeah. So I think, I think the resolution might, be something like, that you guys determined that the resolution would be that the C and D free dumping of tornado debris at the site will end on May 1st, something like that. Because people are bringing it there now. They don't need to be.
I would say be safer to go ahead and do an action.
And it would be pending, which, I mean, there'd be no reason why Tim wouldn't, I mean, does he need board approval or anything like that? Did they approve? That was
No,
an
they're
emergency?
ready.
Okay.
So they're-
I mean,
they're
based
waiting
on
on
our
us, yeah.
conversation, I got
Yeah.
I
that.
think he'd like to do it
He
today.
just waited.
Today, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
He
it's-
may not agree. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I
We
would
could
too.
say that, and but they have to agree. I think they
Yeah, I
would to
think
May
they're-
the 1st.
They're,
Yeah,
they just
ready.
want us to make a
A
decision.
date, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're the ones that get all the questions.
Yeah, they are.
They may get a few questions, but they get the phone calls, so if
Yep.
they know May 1st is it, then they'll convey that,
We'll plan accordingly.
yeah. So, do we want to do that today or the 19th? As far as getting the language.
It needs to be in writing, not just an oral motion and minutes.
I don't think from my perspective, or contracting, it doesn't need to be in writing. I mean, I think it's just a decision that you guys have to make. I don't need anything in writing. I just,
We all need it for any reason.
I would think that for
No.
Laurel, maybe.
yeah, maybe. And
She
FEMA.
said they, or
You don't need it? Oh, okay. Okay, well then, just a motion to,
I move that we use May the 1st, 2022 as the last date to bring C and D from the tornado for free to the county refuse.
Second.
all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right. Item E is the chairman of the Marshall County Long-Term Recovery Group, Mark Sickling. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge Neal. Thank you for the invitation to be here this morning to address you and the Fiscal Court. Appreciate everything that our county has done for our citizens since the December 10th, 2021 tornado. For those of you who don't know me, I am Mark Sickling. I grew up here in Marshall County, grew up at Calvert City, in 1981 graduate of Marshall County High School, 1985 graduate of Murray State University, went on to get a theological degree at Southern Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. 1991, I've served 6 different churches in Kentucky and Georgia. Moved back to Kentucky in 2010, right after the ice storm, so missed that. But have been serving a church in Ballard County. Moved back to Marshall County, my home county, in 2017, where I serve as the Director of Missions for Blood River Baptist Association. After the tornado in December, Blood River Baptist Association's disaster relief team, along with many others, helped move debris, cut down trees, and such as that for a number of citizens. We had a call out for a long-term recovery group, and I attended a couple of those meetings where government agencies kind of just shared with all of us what we were in store for, what a long-term recovery group might be, and just kind of talked for a few of those meetings, but didn't move forward in the establishment of a Marshall County long-term recovery group. So I approached Judge Neal and said, if we need somebody to chair this thing, I guess in a weak moment, will do so. And believe me, I'm regretting that decision to a degree. But I was elected to serve as the chairperson or the chairman for that long-term recovery group about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. We have been meeting at the new 911 center there in Draftonville for the last month or so. We meet on Mondays at 4 o'clock, and I appreciate the opportunity to use that facility. It's a very nice facility, and I appreciate the opportunity for the county to allow us to use that. We have elected a board of directors for the long-range or the long-term recovery group for Marshall County. I serve again as your chair. Catherine Fuller serves as the vice chair, Tom Trinkle as the treasurer, David Green as the secretary, and then we have 3 other members, Tammy McCullough, Benita Walker, and Doug Moore. That makes up your board of directors for the long-term recovery group. We also have several committees, 7 committees actually, that have been formed and have members for those committees. Those committees include a case management committee, communications committee, construction committee, a donations and finance committee, an emotional spiritual care committee, and an unmet needs committee. Like I said, these committees are formed. We're still looking for some members of a few of those committees, especially the case management committee. That committee is lacking in members, and it is one of the most important committees because from my perspective and the perspective of those who do this for a living through VOAD, Kentucky VOAD, and other national VOAD groups, without someone working that case, then nothing seems to get done. And that kind of is where we are. Right now, we have been promised 2 full-time paid case managers for Marshall County through a grant from the Red Cross to Catholic Charities, who is running case management for, I think, not only Marshall County, but many counties throughout the state who are affected by the tornadoes. But to this date, we don't have any hired case managers for Marshall County. And we only have 2 volunteer case managers for Marshall County. So my plea to you, in any way you might help me, is get out the word that we need case managers to help us deal with the 400 or 500 families in Marshall County that have been affected by this tornado. With that being said, there is work being done throughout our county by volunteer groups. In fact, there are 2 groups that will be housed at Zion's Cause Baptist Church in Benton this coming week, and we'll be working with at least 3 different families, maybe 4 different families in their rebuild efforts. At this time, that concludes my report. I do have some handouts I want to leave with you. I don't know that I made enough, so Monty, you don't get any, so you've already got some. I think I've got enough for the rest. But I will entertain questions. I can't guarantee I can answer them.
One of the most significant reasons why Mark is here is to bring awareness to the community, as he said. It's a transition piece through this disaster. We just don't set a date, just like what we did May 1st, and everything goes back to normal. So this is in the name of the Marsh County Long-Term Recovery. It is a long-term initiative. We've had meetings with some of the bigger companies like Lowe's and Home Depot and Menards. I was kind of surprised, actually impressed at Lowe's. One of their representatives, that's his job. He goes to these disasters. They know that there's needs, and so there's all this support out there, but we have to take ownership locally. And I do remember the night, Mark, you came to me, and I'm very blessed that he did, because trying to find folks to facilitate these positions, and I think Marsh County is in good hands. So to bring awareness, to push it out, we're going to use our platforms to push it out. And I believe you've got the board, some photo opportunities to put it out in publications as well.
I am also working on getting a Facebook page for the long-term recovery group set up. I do have a Gmail account for it and a Gmail address. I can give that to you. I didn't print it out, but it's Marshall with a capital M, Marshall County Recovery, all one word, with a capital M for Marshall County Recovery @gmail.com. And that is a Gmail account, email account for our long-term recovery group. Any questions? These are some handouts, as I mentioned, that they're
Thanks, sir.
from FEMA. I cannot really answer questions about it, but it is information regarding
Thank you, sir.
our county. Some of you may have this already. But, anyone else want a copy that didn't get one? All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Brother Mark.
One interesting thing that you guys may be aware of or may not, when FEMA comes in and collects all this data, one thing learned from this process is that FEMA can't share that with my office or the local government. Apparently it's a law, but it was very frustrating trying to get information, but the long-term recovery group can get access to this information. So there's just some information they can share with us, but trying to get the details is very difficult. Going to correspondence, we got our letter back from the state auditor's office without going into reading this 2-page report, but basically we send the letter to them asking if they are going to be doing our audit for 2022 or if they're not going to be doing it. So they're not going to be doing our audit. So we are to look for the private sector. So we will put out notices to different CPA firms, and I'll bring back to the court some options, and we'll go from there. But that's just to put that in the minutes that the state auditor's office had notified us.
I do think there was some, maybe help in the budget, at least the state budget, to help offset those this year, maybe?
Be
Something?
nice.
I think. It's a long budget, but I think there's
Yeah.
something in there.
I know
We'll
here,
see.
here in some other counties, their expenses,
Yeah, it's crazy
it's
for some
crazy.
smaller, yeah, it is.
Item B, under correspondence, I'm just going to read this. This is an advertisement for Marcella's and Needline. They're going to work together on a fundraising event, but this is a concert. It's a gospel, country, and bluegrass. It's at Kentucky Opry, Saturday, May 14th at 7 p.m. Tickets are $20, and to purchase the tickets, call Kentucky Opry, 270-527-3869. This concert is a fundraiser for Marcella's Kitchen and Needline. Kentucky Opry will be donating 100% of the ticket sales to the two charities. This would be a great time to schedule a church outing, Sunday school outing, or family outing while helping two very worthy charities. Both charities are working together to make sure no one goes hungry in Marshall County. Funds from this concert will be used by both facilities for hot meals served Monday through Friday at Marcella's Kitchen from 11 to 1 p.m. Hot meals delivered Monday through Friday to over 100 homebound Marshall County residents. Hot meals provided Monday through Friday for the students at the Marshall County Exceptional Center. Groceries will be available for families in Marshall County with no financial questions asked. Non-perishable food items will be available for the blessing boxes in Marshall County. So please join us for this gospel, country, and bluegrass event by calling now to get your tickets before they sell out. We are expecting the auditorium to be full of people who love great music, but most of all, those who want to help our neighbors in need. So this is posted downstairs. We'll put this out on our publication, and I know Dave is always involved with the music, and he finds some very good talent. And so get a ticket and go out and participate. Old business, approve the minutes, March 15th meeting.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Item B, old business, building department employee certification and pay. Is there any further discussion on this? Would be pertaining to Casey with his level 3 certification. If not, in preparation of a budget, I would say that we definitely need to have, if we're not going to discuss it today, we definitely need to have discussion if it's going to be something that's going to affect the budget so that we can reflect that in the budget.
I agree. I felt, you know, when we met with him that day, I haven't really changed my thought about that. I think it needs to be an all-encompassing discussion during our budget workshops, and because it's that entire department and how we deal
Yeah.
with that. That's my opinion.
I agree. I mean, it's not just an easy, it's going to have to be a discussion that's going to involve big changes.
Yeah. So
we'll just
I'll
incorporate
table it
that
until
into the
the
budget workshops.
budget workshops.
All right. Under new business, animal control, new hire.
This will be a replacement at the animal shelter, part-time. It's Cheyenne Smothers at $11 an hour.
Who's it replacing?
Robert Mack.
Oh, okay. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. B, Parks Department personnel reinstatement.
So this is for the park's seasonal employee. It's a reinstatement, part-time at $12 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Put out the bid for concessions. We had one, which was CFS, who currently did it last year, but this is the actual contract. Brittany and Stephanie sat down and they worked together, and this is what they came up with.
Any changes?
Not now. We worked out any and all changes that needed to be made, but they were nothing substantial. They had more to do with when our schedule changes for games, how they would be notified and things like that. So there was nothing substantial. The percentage that they pay is still the same, reporting is still the same, all that good stuff.
Move we approve the agreement.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Talked with Elena. This is the appointment for the restaurant board, appointment for the Kentucky Lake CVV Board of Directors, and my appointment is Scott Ratcliffe, the Parks Director at Kentucky Dam Village.
Move we approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Transfers.
Welcome back, Erica. It's good to see you.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, there's only one transfer.
Do you have a picture you'd like to put up on the
I
screen?
do. I don't have it to put up on the screen. I have to come show it to you. It's on my phone.
Okay,
I've got hundreds of pictures of her.
okay. Just checking.
Some where she's happy, a lot where she's crying. Okay, so we have a transfer out of the judicial center maintenance salary line of $600 into the judicial maintenance building and grounds line. And then there's a transient tax transfer of $9,700.01.
Move we approve the transfers.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Bills and claims. Is there any reason to deny payment of the bills and claims? Hearing none, let the clerk record that the bills and claims are be paid. And we have on our regular agenda, our schedule for fiscal court meetings, April 5th, but we moved today so that some of us are going to be out of town on April 5th, so we just need a motion to cancel April 5th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And we need a motion going to executive session litigation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.